Welcome to Fear Babes Podcast, a paranormal podcast founded and hosted by Fear fan members.
All thoughts and opinions are strictly our own, and we are not affiliated with any shows in any way.
My name is Burgundy.
My name is Madeline.
And we are...
the Fear Babes.
You? Is it me? Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's recording already? I wasn't looking. Oh no!
Sorry. My bad.
Oh hey, hi. It's us, the Fear Babes. How's it going? Welcome back to the podcast. How's your day?
Hey.
How's your weekend? How's your week? How's your year?
Yay.
I don't know what else to say.
Me neither. I have, ultimately no thoughts right now.
Dude, it's like living in Delulu La La Land over here.
I know. Well, these last couple of, weeks before we've been recording, we've been having, mini, therapy and talk sessions. So, we talk a lot, at least, an hour to an hour and a half.
I was gonna say, guys, just for viewer purposes, we're always yeah, let's record at 9 for me, which is 11 for Mads, and then we don't actually start recording until 10:30.
Which is really funny.
It's 10:11 right now. We got on the mics at 9:04. Maybe we should record the whole thing like that, and we can have two different podcasts going at this point.
I know. That's true. It's
Except
not a bad idea.
Shit we discuss, we can't, and people can't know.
Yeah, some of those things, can't be public, but, yeah, so, life is crazy. I was telling Bergie, briefly that, there's this Teddy Graham latte. I actually tweeted about it yesterday, which it's Saturday, so on Friday, that I'm obsessed with this, recipe that I found on TikTok. Oh my god, TikTok! Anyway, so the recipe is you take honey, cinnamon, I use vanilla extract, a couple dashes of it, brew espresso on top of it, mix it together, put ice in it, add milk and a dash of creamer, just really creamy creamer. When I tell you it's the best thing alive, I mean it.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah, it tastes just like a little Teddy Graham.
Dude,
so,
okay. That would actually pair up so well with my gingerbread and espresso.
Yes, it would.
Which I just finished my last one yesterday, so I'm really sad about that.
Oh. Damn!
I know, what the fuck?
What makes me sad is that, I wish that they would sell, these seasonal flavors year-round.
Peanut and roasted sesame. Sorry, I got distracted.
Peanut and roasted sesame. I'm not sure about that.
I know, that's why I was like, whoa. But yeah, I agree with you. I wish they would sell the seasonal flavors year-round.
There's some things I just don't think I could swing. Though, peanut would probably, obviously it adds a nutty flavor, so it probably is good.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not gonna spend that much for a risk on right. Those espresso pods, bro.
Yeah, it's all about the experience, you know. Are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay. I was he's just got really quiet.
I forgot we were recording because we've been talking for so long.
Oh, hey. Oh, you're still here? Oh, thanks for not tuning out. I'm just going to start talking to our viewers, straight up.
Yeah.
I know we do it we're breaking the fourth wall of the podcast world. No, I'm just kidding.
Breaking the fourth wall is crazy.
We're the Deadpool and Wolverine of podcasting.
Oh, God. Have you... That reminds me. Have you seen, the drama from It Ends With Us with Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively?
No.
Oh, my God.
I've been hearing shit about Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, though.
Yeah, well, he's in it. He's actually a part of the lawsuit now. You should look into it because, yeah. This is the moment where you have to separate beloved characters from their actors because they are not the same people.
No.
So, You should look into it. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, let us know down in the comments, because I'm telling you right now, that shit is juicy. And like, hearing celebrity drama is just so fascinating to me. And like reading lawsuits, because it's just like you're getting all this tea that you would have never had otherwise.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we're having like a tech sesh where you're spilling everything and you're telling me all these things. Mm-hmm. It's quite the ride. Let me tell you.
That's funny. Oh, you're still here? Hello again. It's been 6 minutes. Fear Babes update, though. We finally landed on a platform. We're officially stuck with this one. You're welcome.
Yay! Woohoo! I really like this one.
Chaotic there for a second.
I know. I really like this one. I like the audio. It sounds crisp. And just like a very, like when you listen to a podcast, it sounds very podcasty. I don't know how to explain it.
It does indeed. Like last week when we were when we were editing.
Oh yeah.
I was like, whoa.
I know. I was like, it was like ASMR, and I got so relaxed.
Asthma.
When we were
Asthma. Kind of sounds like you're saying asthma incorrectly.
Asthma. Actually, my grandma used to say, like my great grandma, she used to say stuff like that, and I never understood it, but it's just the accent, I think, because she was born in literally fucking 1928. So she'd be like, I heard he had asthma.
Oh my gosh, what if your grandma invented the word ASMR?
Dude, honestly, that woman's a legend.
That's so funny.
That surprised me.
You're just like walking with her, you're like, I'm winded. I think I have asthma. Oh no.
Oh gosh, I miss that woman. Asthma. There were other things. I'm trying to think of like other things that she would say that just didn't make any sense as to why she would add like a at the end. Just like what's something that ends with a Oh, here's something. I have a cousin named Sarah.
Oh my
and
gosh.
she'd say Sarah.
Sarah. Did she ever say below? So like baloney?
Bloner. Bloner.
You ever say it incorrectly on purpose? Bologna.
I say Bologna all the time.
Okay.
It pretty much is Bologna in this
or
house.
lasagna.
Lasagna. Oh, she would say lasagna, but not with the bologna. She wouldn't say that.
Of the way people pronounce things weirdly, did you ever have family members, like I have family members from the Midwest, and they would say wash instead of wash? That one pisses me off.
She would,
like, there's no R in the word wash. What the fuck are you saying?
You know what's interesting is I thought that was like a southern dialect thing, because my grandma and
Doogie.
My grandma and other like family members, they would say wash. Some of them still do.
Wash. Like Worcestershire sauce.
Yeah. I gotta wash them dishes. Okay.
Oh gosh.
All right. Just
the one that would piss me off every time you get a washcloth. I'm like, stop. What the fuck? No. No. I don't know what a washcloth is.
My favorite thing is my mama. She'll say, "Get your ace over here."
Ace.
I'd be like, "What the fuck?" And she'd be like, "I swear, I declare, that man, he's an ace hole." I'm like, "Oh, okay." What's the ace hole?
Yeah, what is an ace hole? If I were you, I would just get an ace card from a deck of cards. Like, there you go.
It's like, all right. Yeah, no, that would piss her off. Now I know good and damn well you know what I meant. Oh, God.
This is fun. This is a fun game. I like this game.
I know.
What
it's
else?
like, it's tickling spots in my brain that I'm really enjoying a lot.
I like the extra accents you're adding to it. Like,
I know. But it's just...
really sells the story.
But that's exactly how it is, too. I mean, it's just like...
Get your ace over here.
And I
Or
never
arse.
under
The way British people say it, arse.
arse. Yeah, I don't know where ace came from, but that was a popular one.
I like to say words incorrectly on purpose.
Oh, I know one. Last one for the pod. There's this town in South Carolina. It's called Chirral, like spelled with a CH, but my papa always called it Chirral.
Chirral.
And a lot of the locals call it Chirral. So when you go down to Chirral, they'll say, yeah, or if you go down to like somewhere like one of the cities close by, they'll be like, yeah, I had to go down to Chirral today down there to the old Walmart and you know,
Walmart.
got me some chitlins and fried them up real good and had those for dinner. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because
What
I know
are
good damn
words?
well. I know good and damn well. Just think about it. You guys, that is the product of what I was raised by, so we should all be
That whole
happy.
Story sparked a story within my brain, and now it's gone.
I'm telling you right
Can't
now,
get it back.
I can say whatever I want to. I'll make fun of the South. The South doesn't have a very pleasing history, but I sure am glad to be a part of this good old Southern shit.
Right. It's like I want to hear Siri pronounce words like that because
I know.
in town we have a street. It's called CY Avenue, and if you pull up Siri and she's like trying to give you directions, she's like, "Turn left on Cy Avenue," and I'm like, "What the fuck is?"
I mean,
CY
to be fair, CY is
Cy.
a crazy avenue.
Cy Avenue.
I would pronounce it Cy too.
I call it Cy now because of Siri.
I do think Siri, like how she pronounces things, is very interesting because, like, God, there's one place local to us, that when we travel up to the mountains, the way that they say it really pisses me off. And I'm like, now how the hell did you get that out of this word? I don't even know. Maybe it'll come to me later, but
We're gonna be right at the end of the podcast, and you're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, one more thing."
remember what I said
I
earlier.
remembered.
Oh God. Well,
It's funny.
on that note, I guess,
Yeah.
what are we doing today?
We were talking about that one place that Project Fear went to that one time, but then they did it again, but then they also did it again. But we're not talking about the first time they went there. We're only talking about the other 2 times that they went there. But then we've also been there, but then also we're going to be there this year again. So then, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to be
How
there
was
this
that?
year. We're going to be there this year again doing what exactly?
We're going to be vendors at the Pennhurst Paragon. So you better come see us, please. Thank you.
Yeah, forget the other people.
I know you're going because you want to see Forensic Fan, but actually you want to see us and you just don't want to admit it, and that's okay.
Yeah,
It's fine.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But come see me. Come say hi, please. Because
They said-
so much. Thank you.
Pennhurst says that Josh Gates is the headliner. Nah, bro, it's us.
Yeah, it's fair. Y'all spelled Fear Babes wrong.
Yeah, what the fuck? And why do we look like a man? And there's only one? Is it supposed to be our love child or
you
like
got the
what?
wrong photo. You posted the wrong name.
Like
we need
what
to
is
have a
happening?
conversation.
Yeah. So, call us. Let us know what the fuck that's about. Anyway. She's a wild one.
You know what's funny? I used to love country growing up, country music, and then I just don't ever listen to it really anymore. I do. I listen to Chris Stapleton and Jelly Roll, but that's really
I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm gonna sound like a really like bitter Southern bumpkin right here, but like I don't like modern day country
me either.
very much. I listen to a lot of the stuff from like the 80s, 90s, early 2000s because there's
when it was
just
good.
yeah, and there's just like this twang to it. Oh my gosh!
Like
let me tell
Tim
you.
McGraw, Toby Keith,
Oh yeah,
Rascal Flatts.
Rascal Flatts, iconic. Lone Star.
Yeah, Garth Brooks was good.
Yeah, was.
He's not really a good person, so
Yeah,
that's
he's
unfortunate. But
he's got an
obviously
interesting...
George Strait. Obviously George Strait. Yeah.
George Strait amongst Alabama. That's a good
Reba
one.
McEntire.
There's just so many good country artists.
Did you know Reba McEntire was my first concert ever?
No, that's awesome.
Yeah. That was right after we moved to Casper.
I wish I had a good first concert.
Well, what made it special was we were sitting like to the right of the stage, but it was like right there, like a couple rows up, obviously though. But Reba looked right at me and pointed and smiled.
Oh, sick,
I was
dude!
like, "Hey, Reba!"
The legend Reba McEntire.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I was a sophomore in high school, so obviously it was just like
Dude.
so fangirly over that.
How the hell could we miss Dolly Parton?
Yeah, you can't miss Dolly.
Dolly Parton.
Jolene.
I always also think about working 9 to 5.
What a
Way to make a living. Oh,
Have you seen The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas?
I don't think so.
Oh, Madeline.
What's that?
It's a movie with Dolly Parton in it.
I
My
think
mom
I've heard
made
of
me
it.
watch it when I was like 14.
That's hilarious. Did you know that there was a TV show called 9 to 5 that she was in?
Yeah, I watched that
Yeah.
too.
I watched it, yeah.
Was it? I thought it was a movie though.
But you know what's cool is that Dolly Parton is from Sevierville, Tennessee, and that is one of my favorite places to visit. It's near Pigeon Forge in Gatlinburg, and I love it. It's so Dolly Parton, like there's just a lot of stuff around there that's dedicated to her. So
We love Dolly.
we love Dolly. She's a legend.
Carrie Underwood was good too.
Yeah, back in the day for sure. Oh God, you know that song? Oh my gosh, she has so many good ones. What do I mean? But that song, "Just a Dream."
Yes.
Oh, dude, younger me was so heartbroken over a man that didn't even exist. I was like, oh my God. When she said, "Baby, why'd
So
you leave
true,
me?
though.
Why'd you have to go? I was counting on forever. Now I never know."
12-year-old me is like, same, Carrie, same.
Dude, I'm crying right now. Like, what do you mean?
Fucking Zac Efron left me. Didn't even know. Who but
That's exactly who I was thinking about. I'm sure it was Zac Efron or fucking damn, what's his name, Leonardo DiCaprio won.
oh shit.
Because I was obsessed with that man. I was like,
Dylan
yo,
Sprouse. Fuck that guy.
dude, Dylan Sprouse too. Dylan Sprouse too. I love Dylan Sprouse. Oh my god. I miss those days, man.
I don't know, the good old days when I didn't have
Oh
any
my God.
responsibilities and
Yeah, now I'm an adult and it sucks really bad.
dear anybody under 18 who listens to this podcast. First of all, you shouldn't be. Second of all, do your parents know you're listening to us? But the real advice is don't wish to grow up.
Yeah.
Just stop. Anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, because once you grow up, like, yeah, it just becomes a little sad. All right, well, shall we get into this episode?
Yeah, I guess whatever. All right.
So
Before you say something, hold on. I ran out of notebook paper, so I had to use drawing paper.
well.
So the consistency is much
Thick.
thicker. Yeah, she's thick, boy. She's a thick boy.
She's
you
a thick boy.
You might hear paper sounds in the background, so you're just gonna have to deal today.
Oh, that reminds me. I have one confession I have to make before we get into this. Just one singular confession.
Okay.
That song reminded me of I have been religiously watching Queso streaming.
Oh gosh.
And if you haven't watched Queso, you absolutely should. He's funny as fuck. If you think we're funny, you would like him too. All right. Also, like, why you got me blushing and shit? Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, okay. You have a little crushy crush?
No.
Mm-hmm. You want to talk about it later?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Next week's pre-recording hour. No, I'm just kidding.
Literally.
I will tell you though, I've been really I don't know who these streamers are. Like, I don't know what they look like, but I've been into watching games before I go to bed. You know?
Yeah.
I've been watching Smitty's videos a lot, but he smells it. He smells it. What are words? Spells it. It's like SMI, and then one of the T's he uses like a 7. It's like a T and then a 7 and then a Y.
I think I've heard of that.
Him and his
actually.
friends though. Well, it's because when I sent you the Pico Park video, it was those guys.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you one thing, though, is that this is not who you think. Actually, let's get a live reaction right now really quickly, okay?
Oh, God. Okay, I'm grabbing my phone. Because it's on Do Not Disturb.
Because you guys know I'm 100% on thirst traps, like...
Of Shrek. Just kidding.
Do you remember me sending fucking Tanner a Shrek thirst trap?
Yeah.
That was so funny.
That was while we were talking, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You're like, hold on, you gotta see this.
Dude, I was not letting him pass that up, bro. Like, you have to see it now or never. You're gonna judge me.
Tanner, we miss you. This is Queso? That's what I haven't even opened the video yet. That's what he looks like? Why is that so on brand for you?
Because you just never know.
This dude is exactly what the kind of looking dude that I feel like you would be in. Like, this is so on brand for Madeline, you guys. This is not even...
What the fuck? Dude,
this
everybody
is
else...
exactly the type of guy I would feel you would go for.
Sierra would tell you something insanely different.
That's really funny. Hold on, I'm looking again.
Sierra actually kind of low-key judged me.
The part where he's biting his finger.
What part is that? Oh, you get it? Oh, you got the tingles?
No.
He's from Arkansas.
Oh, God. It just gets worse every time you add to it. Okay. He's from Arkansas. Looks like he's from Arkansas. That's such a judgy thing to say. That was
It is
so rude of me.
judgy. It is
So
judgy.
rude of me.
You're
I'm
so
sorry,
posh.
you guys. I'm so sorry.
My name is Burgundy. I'm from Wyoming. I judge people from Arkansas that's name's Queso.
Fuck. That was just a quick, like, I saw 2 seconds of this dude. I'm like, the math do be math in here.
I told you, I've said this on the podcast before, and I've told you this before, it's way more about personality than anything else.
That's fair.
Like, if you're funny, and
It's
like...
true, though, because the gaming, like, some of the gamers that stream stuff, you never see them, ever.
Yeah.
Like, you don't see what they look like, but then, like, they're talking and they're banter with each other and stuff, and it's like, this dude sounds hot. Like...
Yeah. Well, it's just like, you know, maybe... And, like, this is what I mean by, like, Sierra being like, what the fuck? That is not... Because she told me, she's like, I envision your person as, like, tall, muscular, abs,
you don't know if Queso's
hot.
tall or not.
He is. He's 6'2". But she said, because he said
He's
on
a
stream.
bear.
Essentially, yeah. And, but she was like, muscular, abs, like, et cetera, et cetera. And, she said this, like, I don't even know how long ago. This was before, like, the Queso thing. And, I was like, huh? I was like, do you even know me? Because, like, it's more about, like, personality for me. Like, if you have a good personality, if you can rizz up a room, and, like, you're the kind of person that, like, you just have this, like, personality that's just, like, oh.
Okay.
Exactly, Diesel.
Tell
exactly.
us how you feel.
He understands. He's like, yes, he feels that. He understands that. Like, if you just have, like, this eccentric personality, like, I gravitate towards that, you know?
Yeah.
Or if you're just a hot fuckboy, then apparently that's my type too. It's just... Let's be honest. Did you go away?
Yeah, I'm muted because I don't know what Diesel's doing.
I was like, what the fuck just happened?
The fuckboy thing is because every girl wants a little bit of a bad boy. But that's for a fun time, not a long time.
Yeah. They just, yeah.
At certain person with me. What?
Oh.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay, but what I was going to say is the personality thing is true too, because sometimes don't judge. We listen and we don't judge.
Okay. Yeah, we listen and we don't judge.
I never judged you. I judged Queso. We listen and we don't judge listeners. Okay, here's the thing. The personality thing is true because sometimes you'll be with even just your friends and they just be doing something and you're like, do I have a crush on you right now?
Yeah, it's true.
It's like, what's happening?
It's true. Sometimes I've questioned my sexuality because I'm like, what the fuck?
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Are we about to kiss right now?
Two bros chilling in a hot tub. 5 feet apart because they're not gay.
That's so funny. Anyway, all right,
what was the other trend that was going around? That was like just like what you just said. Are we about to kiss right now? What was that one?
Oh god.
You know what I'm talking about.
Right? It was that one where they would go like they would put their lips out and then they turn away, and then they put their lips back and then they turn away.
Yeah.
I forgot which one it was.
All right, fuck. It's been almost a half hour. Okay, Pennhurst. Let's go.
Here we go. I feel like some of that's gonna have to be cut, but who knows?
No.
All right.
No,
Pennhurst.
No, here, man. But we don't have to cut our bullshit because then we don't have to talk about Project Fear as much.
True. Okay. True.
Well, and that's no hate on Pennhurst, okay? Because the Pennhurst episodes were honestly some of the better episodes that they have.
Yeah.
However, I don't know. Mads might disagree with me, but there wasn't not a lot of parallels this time.
No, there wasn't. But the few that there were kind of interesting. But also, like, let me just set the mood here. I have not seen the Destination Fear episode until yesterday, since I had been to Pennhurst.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
It's been a long time. So it was a crazy... It's still crazy. Like, it was crazy the first time that we watched the Project Fear Pennhurst episodes in 2023. We had just gone to Pennhurst. So, it was weird then, but it's weird now because it's like, I've been to this place and, like, seeing them walk in the rooms that we
walked in? Yeah, it's weird.
Such a strange, eerie feeling. But, like... I think one thing about Pennhurst, if you've been there, I know a lot of people have been there for the Paracons and for investigations, but this place is just so heavy and so emotional because of the things that the people who were trapped there endured. Like, just an incredible amount of just mistreatment all the way around. And it was people who were, you know, just average people. Maybe they suffered from anxiety, depression, ADHD, autism, like people who we deem today, depending on like certain, you know, things that are relatively normal. And they were mistreated so bad. And, you know, Dr. Fear did all those awful treatments to those patients, and there's adult, just
like cribs situation.
Yeah, and like tying them. It's awful. It's terrible. And you know, it's a very emotional it was a very emotional Project Fear episode. Destination Fear, again, like we've said this multiple times while reviewing these, is that the episodes go by so fast you don't really get a feeling for the ambiance of the location. You just literally... And I feel like that's why TV is such a disadvantage to paranormal investigators who are legit and are looking for evidence and are, you know, doing this for good reasons other than just to be a multi-millionaire and fake all of their evidence and pretend like everything's demons, but that's not here nor there. when it comes to TV and you have like all this concrete solid evidence, like what we're seeing with Project Fear and their 2+ hour episodes, is that like you're getting a feel for what the location is.
Yeah.
Like as a whole. Mm-hmm. And you're getting to understand more of the history. Like if you've noticed, the history segments are significantly longer than they were in Destination Fear. Because in Destination Fear, they only had like 42 minutes. So, alas, it's just one of those things where I just feel like it really paints the picture, having more time and getting to see majority and all of the evidence that was caught, because we're really getting to see and listen to these people that suffered. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Well, and that's like, I mean, to piggyback off of what you're saying too, it's funny because I do see a lot of comments where people are like, hey, your episodes are too long. Like, I don't need this much. Blah 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 blah. But it's like, I guess it's what are you truly watching this for type of thing.
Yeah.
Because, again, I mean, we've talked recently about like PF needs to go back to being themselves, blah blah blah, and we had that whole thing. I guess I'm not going to speak for Mads, but I feel like we are on the same page with this. But we watch for the whole experience.
Right.
It's not like I don't want to be... I watch paranormal TV because I'm intrigued by the paranormal and I want to find the answers, not because I just want to be entertained and have mindless nothing to watch for an hour, you know?
Right.
So.
Exactly. So, Destination Fear, Season 1, Episode 10. So, this is the end of their very first season.
It was the season finale!
Yeah, and I just wanted to say what's crazy about this, and I'm sure you noticed this too, is they look so defeated at the end of, like, this episode. It was crazy. In comparison to, like, you know, they've been doing this for a couple of years now. They're more seasoned. Of course, they're going to still be exhausted, but it looks like they have all been, like, sick for 3 weeks, like, no sleep. They just look so dead, and, like, all of them, you know, they're just so done. Like, they're just done. They're just doing it to get through, and that's just what it was in comparison to now. It's such a drastic difference. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you noticed that or not, but it's that's what I took away from it. I was like, damn.
That into like a contrasting piece, if you will. When they were, I think they were in the Mayflower building in the Destination Fear episode, and they had the music box. Like, you can tell that they're not, like, this speaks to their growth journey, because they had the music box out and it went off a little bit, and then they're like, is somebody playing with the box? And then it just goes off a tiny bit again, and they're like, can you do that again? And then it does it again, and they're like, you're doing a good job. Like, that wasn't a, like, I'm not knocking anything because people have to learn and grow, right? It's just like it's so different than the type of conversations they try to have with the music box now, is what I'm getting at, you know?
Right, exactly.
It was just like, they were like shocked, and they were like, oh, great, can you do it again? Like, there was no, like, how do I put it, Mads? I guess there was no investigative piece in that.
Yeah,
that
it's
first
like,
one.
I mean,
and
I get what you're saying. Like, the questions that they were asking were more on the amateur side rather than now. Like, they ask more, like, yes, no. Like, their questions are really more good.
Investigative to figure out the story type of thing now. Versus they were just like, whoa, this is so cool. Like, keep going. Like,
yeah. Yeah. It's so interesting. And, of course, like, that comes with time and stuff. Some people are just great at it off the go. Like, that when they brought, oh my gosh, what was that guy's name that went with them? He contributed that big amount to
Rick?
Yes, that's it. Like,
Big
he was
Rick energy.
Yeah, he was great from the get-go.
Yeah. But he said, didn't he say he goes and investigates like on his own?
I think he did say that.
Because I was gonna add, I will tell you from like my experience with going on like very amateur ghost hunts this year. It's a lot easier said than done because like the one ghost the tour guide that we had at Fort Casper, like he's been doing it for 10 years and he's like, people like with equipment like the spirit box, for example, he's like, people always only tend to ask yes or no questions and then they get frustrated when they don't get answers, and people also always tend to ask the same questions. Like he's like, if you're asked, he's like, you guys are the last tour of the night. We've done 7 of these already tonight or whatever. He's like, if you're constantly being asked over the course of 3 hours, what's your name? He's like, are you going to want to keep telling people your name? Like, And so, but I will say, like, easier said than done because he coached us that. And then you're trying to figure out what to ask. And you do end up asking a lot of yes or no questions, just like as an amateur. Because you just forget, You're like in the moment, you're like, oh, this and that and the other. And then, or like if you don't know the history that well, it's a lot harder for you to also try to engage.
Well, so the last thing you heard, Bergie was chatting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And next thing we know, wait, video audio previews, what do you mean? Oh, it's doing a quality check. Okay.
Oh.
So basically, the last time you heard from us, Bergie was, chatting it up, and next thing we know, we have a whole, like, extra hour of conversation. And then boom, bam, turkey and ham. we go our separate ways. I sit down to listen to see, to input the audio and separate it amongst us. And lo and behold, only 36 minutes and 49 seconds of my audio kept. So the whole...
How long we recorded for, Matt?
Yeah, an hour and 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm. It was like 1:32:18 or something like that.
Yeah. So on that note, I'm pretty like... We're just kind of checked out. Because essentially I feel like our discussions that we were having earlier were actually pretty good.
Well, here's the thing, too. So y'all don't know this or not, but we don't have any plan when we come in and make these things. I mean, we have a general idea, right, of what we're talking about, but
yeah,
it's all off the cuff. We riff off of each other. We just go back and forth. There's no, like, I'm going to talk about this, this, and this. None of it's scripted. Nothing. So, it was all done organically previously.
Yeah, it was...
And now it feels forced.
Yeah.
And I don't, like... The quality of comedy we had in the first round.
I know.
It's just lost forever.
So, as I believe was stated previously, Destination Fear, Season 1, Episode 10. Mm-hmm. Pretty wild, huh? I'm just kidding. So, basically one thing that I feel is important to share is there wasn't very many, like, similarities across these 3 episodes. We didn't watch Trail to Terror, though we, in our original recording, we stated that we probably should have, because we do remember, if our memories serve us well, that there were a couple of similarities between Trail to Terror and the other episodes. Mm-hmm. But again, still not as many.
I'll talk on that in a minute here too,
yeah.
One thing we mentioned the first time around, it's so unfortunate. R.I.P. original audio.
Right.
In the arms of... No, I'm just kidding. I think it wasn't exactly parallel, so I said earlier, let's call it parallel adjacent, perhaps, but there was disembodied vocalizations. So, like in Destination Fear, there was whistling, and in Project Fear, there was screams. And then with Trail to Terror, if I'm not mistaken, there was whistling in Trail to Terror as well when they were at Pennhurst.
Yeah, and something that we also didn't really get into is just like like Chelsea had discussed in Project Fear specifically, that, you know, those disembodied like vocalizations were more than likely people who were disabled that were stuck at Pennhurst, sent to Pennhurst for majority of their life. And, you know, it didn't really get into like Destination Fear. It did touch a little bit because they did have that interview with that lady. I'm so sorry I didn't write her name down, but she was a patient at Pennhurst and when it was open and operating, and she explained like the things that she endured. We didn't get much of like the history as we do in Project Fear, and we didn't get to see the enormity of the issues that were going on at Pennhurst. These patients were enduring awful, awful, awful things. And Dr. Fear, he was absolutely terrible. He had, I mean, they included the interview in Project Fear of Dr. Fear having no regrets for literally just coming out and saying, yeah, I test on these patients. Like, so what? In a nutshell, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Back to earlier, too, though. We talked about, like, when is, as a society, are we going to stop letting people do medical experiments on patients?
Yeah.
Or other humans, for example.
Yeah.
Because it's inhumane. It's ridiculous.
Very much is. And I explained as well.
This is so sad.
It is so sad, but I explained as well that unfortunately, this obviously doesn't excuse it, but it was pretty routine at that time that if there was something wrong with someone, that they pretty much didn't deserve to live. They didn't deserve to live their life, and they would be sent off to asylums, sanatoriums, state hospitals, somewhere where these families would just discharge of their family members. If it were orphans that went to an orphanage, they would just be discharged. It was just, it's an awful thing. And I feel as though Project Fear was able to vocalize that very well. Whereas in Destination Fear, they weren't able to present that as well because they only had A, 42 minutes of airtime. Mm-hmm. B, you know, Travel Channel controlled exactly what they were able to put on the air. And, you know, Project Fear they're in charge of what they show now. So they have the full reins. And I'm glad that we're able to see just how emotional it was because the evidence that they received made a lot more sense. And I feel like they just, you know, portrayed that very well. And they got the point across very well. So,
yeah.
With that being said, I did want to say one of the similarities that I had seen in Destination Fear had first gone into the building and they went to the Mayflower. They went up to the 3rd floor and they immediately hear like a slam or a movement towards the staircase. And I say this because at another portion of Destination Fear, I keep wanting to say Project Fear, Jesus Christ.
I know.
It's so hard. Like, it wasn't hard earlier, but apparently it is now. Chelsea got the Mayflower 3rd floor, and when she was up there, she got sounds like what sounded like walking on the stairs. So that was like 2 instances of sounds being near stairs in Destination Fear. Pretty much consistently, like, I'm just going to say in a nutshell, there were also sounds that they would hear near the staircase in Project Fear. And this was in the Mayflower building.
And the Pennhurst episodes too, like I think, I don't know if it made it in the original or not, of what we have from this morning, but there was not a lot of parallels between these 2 different time frames of when the crew went to Pennhurst.
Right.
Episodes we've done of Compare Contrast, they've had a fairly decent amount of similarities and parallels, but like at Pennhurst it was like not a lot.
Well, I will say one thing that I do remember talking about earlier that I did want to bring up was in Destination Fear, Tanner had received on the digital recorder, Remember Your Nightmare. Mm-hmm. And that just absolutely like shook him, you know? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And then in Project Fear, he goes back and he was in the Mayflower tunnels. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, since you brought that up,
yes, I wanted you to talk about that. So he was in the
Dakota.
He was in the Mayflower tunnels. Okay. And then in this episode, he was near the Mayflower tunnels in King's lair.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing that we see in the second episode is, or at least in Tanner's portion, he's using the mag light. And Tanner asks the question, if you remember me, can you turn that on? The light turns on. And then he says, okay, if you are king, can you turn the light on? The light turns on. And so immediately Tanner's like, holy shit, what the fuck is going on, you know?
Yeah.
And rightfully so. And he said, if King doesn't like me, like he was just talking out loud to the audience, and the mag light turns on again. So it was like King was responding to the question indirectly. And then he also asked, are you mad that I don't like what you did to people that were showcasing what you did? And then a blink, and then a solid light, and then behind him a crash occurs. Finally, because I'm not going to get into every single bit of information there. If you want to see that, check out episodes 17 and 18 of the podcast, because that's when we review these two episodes in depth and we discuss all the evidence and everything. But Tanner whips out the digital recorder. So, you know, of course, with him using the digital recorder in Destination Fear, he decided to use that piece of equipment again to see if he could get anything. And he got, are you trying to threaten or scare me? And a loud voice came through that sounded like, yeah. And then he said, King, are you evil? Do you want to hurt me? And the response came through, yes, I want to hurt you. And finally, one final thing is, before all this, I meant to add that in episode 1, when Tanner, Dakota, Colin, and Connor were together, they were using... I was gonna
remind you if you didn't remember.
Yeah, thank you. They were using the Spirit Talker app after the Spirit Box suddenly just stopped working. And the Spirit Talker app was introduced by Colin and Connor because they like to use that in their videos on YouTube. They're the Paranormal Files, if you did not know. The words I remember you came through. And Tanner is like, okay, like, whoa. It wasn't directly at Tanner, I don't think, but it could have been towards all of them. But I did think it was interesting that
the remembrance of it all.
Yeah.
Like a parallel.
Like the word remember, like I remember. And it just seems to have some sort of draw. And, you know, if you've listened to the episode, I can't remember if it was Destination Fear or Project Fear. I think it was discussed more in depth than Project Fear, which would make a lot of sense, as we were talking about earlier, that King feels threatened by alpha males. And as we know,
it was Destination Fear, they brought that up.
Yeah, Tanner is threatened by alpha, or Tanner.
Tanner's also threatened by alpha males.
Tanner is an alpha male, so obviously King is...
No, he's threatened by them.
That part would make so much sense.
Let's start rumors, man. No, I'm just kidding.
Tanner is a bitch baby. He's threatened by big scary dudes.
Tanner's a big baby bitch boy.
Tanner's a baby back bitch. Everybody spread the rumor as soon as possible. Everybody tweet Tanner, say at Tanner Wiseman on Twitter, and just tell him he's a baby back bitch with no context, and hashtag Fear Babes Podcast, so he knows that we're starting beef again.
It's not BDT anymore. It's BBT.
Bitch baby Tanner. Fuck yeah, brother.
Anyways, what were you trying to say originally? King is threatened by alpha males.
Yeah, and so therefore, like, as we all know, Tanner is an alpha male. If you can't tell, I mean, that's how he got.
Or so he likes to think he is.
Well, he does try to, like, punch people, so I totally get it.
He tries to punch ghosts, actually, not people.
He tries to punch people if he absolutely needs to in an abandoned building. If he absolutely had to.
Back to you said, because, Tanner was in the tunnels in Destination Fear.
Yep.
Either that or y'all said something wrong, because I wanted to bring that up because this fucker Dakota is lying to everybody.
Yeah.
Because in Project Fear, he was like, oh, we finally got access to the tunnels. Like, no, my guy. One of you slept in the tunnels at Destination Fear, like in 2019.
Yeah, because
At Destination, like it's a location. In is what I meant to say. In Destination Fear.
Yeah, because like when Burgundy and I were going through our notes earlier,
the first time I brought it up,
the first time she brought it up, she was like, where did you have Tanner, like in your notes? What was his sleeping arrangement?
Yeah, because I literally wrote Tunnels Mayflower Tanner.
Yeah, it said Tanner gets Mayflower tunnels in
I was
mine.
like, am I Delulu? Am I making this up? Because I swear to gosh, Dakota was like, oh, we finally got access through the tunnels.
No, he 100%
No, bro,
did.
you had it the first time.
Actually, pause.
What a weirdo.
We're about to expose this dumb fucker, alright?
Might just be entirely wrong. We're so confident.
We're like, yeah, we're so smart.
This fucking bitch. Yeah.
He's so fucking dumb. Like, and then we end up.
to eat our pride.
It's like, well, guys, we come back all defeated.
Roll the tape.
Alright, shut up, bitch.
We've never been allowed access in these tunnels. We've only been allowed in select small parts. But this is a 1,500-foot stretch of...
Okay, so...
Cutting everything. No one ever heard this part.
But...
It never existed.
Hey, at least this time we actually listened to what he said, because last time we would have just went with it, and then he would have came back and probably flamed us.
We weren't incorrect. He did say those words.
Yeah, he did say those words.
Added color to them.
Exactly. He added color. So we heard it. We weren't incorrect necessarily. That is so egotistical.
What a bitch. Okay. Fucking Dakota making us look like shit, even though no one's ever gonna actually know that we looked like shit.
Well, actually, let's talk about him looking like shit. How about we just go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off?
Wait! Hold on. There's one other thing I wanted to bring up parallel-wise.
Oh, okay.
Because I think that might just end it after that point, right?
Do you think?
Yeah, probably. I don't know what else to talk about. Like, it all left my brain after we were done this morning. I was like, nailed it, moving on.
I know. And now I'm like, I really don't know either.
Okay, the one thing we talked about this morning, though, and I think you brought it up initially, was the intelligent, direct responses that were given. And it's like, again, parallel adjacent, because they're different situations, different topics they were talking about. But in both Destination Fear and Project Fear, the responses on whatever devices they were using were direct, and then we also mentioned that they all correlated to the experiences that the patients would have had at Pennhurst.
Right, yes, yeah. Because, okay, like in Project Fear, for example, some of the evidence that Chelsea and Alex had gotten, they were on the second floor of the Quaker building, and they decided to get out the PS device, and Chelsea asked the question, is there something you want to say? And Miss Papa came through. Chelsea asked, do you miss your family? Return came through. And then as they continued on, she asked, is there a word you can use to describe this place? What would it be? Pain, cellar, and cried came through. Chelsea asked, can you describe something about you? Normal. So,
yeah, that's sad.
As we were talking about earlier, like back then, if you had like anxiety, ADHD, autism, like not the more extreme versions of autism, but like functioning autism, if anybody speculated any of that, you would have gone to those places. And so whoever that spirit was that replied to Chelsea and said normal, they probably were normal by our standards these days, and definitely to themselves. Because like, could you imagine being in a asylum for having anxiety or depression?
No.
Like, oh, I'm sorry, I was just born this way. Or maybe I have trauma that I can't control, and you're just going to throw me in here because I'm too much to deal with. Like, it's crazy. And a lot of these people were children, and it's awful. It's such an awful, awful, awful thing. And the atmosphere at Pennhurst is so heavy and so dark and so sad. And it truthfully is just, it's a very emotional place, and it's very overwhelming if you don't properly prepare when you go into the buildings. The property itself is a little different, like when you're outside, I feel like. Just saying, because I've been there. But, you know, going in those buildings and you're seeing, like, there's a lot of beds still left over, stuff like that.
You know what's the saddest part for me when we were there is, like, there was names
Yeah,
on the walls.
that's right. Yep.
That was wild.
I totally forgot about that. It truthfully is so sad to just see it. And just to think of like all the residual energy that resides there that you know for a fact exists within those walls. It's so heartbreaking.
It really is. It sucks too because it's like, again, like you said, a lot of them are kids, and so like parents, they just didn't want to deal with their kids because their kids ended up being a little bit more than what they anticipated, perhaps.
Yep.
And that's just really, really wrong in my opinion.
It is. It is. But like I said earlier, like it was just a thing back then, and not that it excuses it, but they were led to believe that if there was something wrong with their child, they just didn't want to deal with it. They were just done. It was just, it was such a norm, and that within itself is just unfathomable in my opinion. But
yeah, so I don't think, before you get to what is supposed to be the best part of this whole episode, is there any other parallels we need to mention?
Well, I was actually thinking one final thing. In Destination Fear, Alex and Chelsea were separated. While they are in the Mayflower building, they pull out the music box, and all of a sudden it just starts going off immediately. And Alex pretty much said, all right, so if you can do 1 for yes, like 1 consistent no, and like 2 for no, that's how we would like to communicate with you. And Alex asked the question, do you want us to leave? And it goes off once for yes. He asks, are you a spirit who doesn't like males? And it goes off once for yes again. Should I leave? Goes off once again for yes. Should I be afraid to be up here? And it goes off once again for yes.
That's the other thing that was a parallel. Al and Chelsea were paired together both times.
Yep.
However, the fucking math ain't math in there, my guys. Why are you going to have a group of 4 and a group of 2?
Yeah, what the
Why
fuck?
not 3 and 3? Or 2, 2 and 2?
Yeah.
What the fuck is that shit?
That made no sense.
Dakota.
I know, he's a fucking idiot, bro. He's a fucking idiot.
Weenie. He's a Weenie Hut Jr. That's what he is.
I got some shit to say to that motherfucker here in a second, but I did feel as though, like, as far as, like, males go, maybe it's not with Alex, but at least with, like, the guys, meaning Dakota, Tanner, Colin, and Connor, that they did get some responses that showed some sort of, like, hostility when they were in Candyland, because when they were using the Spirit Talker app, Connor had asked the question, should we be afraid? And it said threatening. And then that's when, of course, like what we discussed earlier, it said, I remember you, watch yourself here. Tanner said, what did the doctor do? Bad entities here came through. When the guys went under Estes, well, Tanner went under Estes. And Dak asked the question, why do you only go after pretty women down here? Careful comes through. Colin asks, are you not willing to speak with us because we're not women? Watching came through. Hurt you comes through after that. Colin said, if this is the janitor, and then something cut him off and said, don't. And then Colin finished his sentence and said, then none of us are afraid of you. So, pretty much in a nutshell, something was very hostile towards these men. Yeah. That's all I have to say. Now, is it time for me to get hostile, or like, should we, do you have anything else?
No, yeah, do it. Fucking go for it.
All right, so.
Wait, let me get a lighter. Help you roast this.
Sick. We like our weenies roasted. Wink,
Hell
wink.
Yeah, we do.
Wink, wink. You guys might see that later on down the road from us. I don't know. It's just something, you know? I don't know.
Everybody grab your fucking popcorn right about now.
Yeah, you better go get your fucking snacks. All right, you got your snacks? You got your snacks? All right, thanks.
I have water. Let's go.
Let go, motherfucker. So, what I wish I had done, if I wasn't so distracted and my brain wasn't mush right now, I would have thought to bring this up earlier, because at the beginning of the very first Project Fear episode, the very first scene, almost, pretty much, it was the second scene. I feel like I have to be particular here, because I know that if I'm about to cook someone, like literally cook them, like till they're burnt, I better have my facts straight, right? So, in the second scene, essentially, of the first episode of Project Fear's Pennhurst episodes, whatever, Dakota's talking about how, you know, like, have you ever shit and blah, 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 and you wake up and you're still shitting on the toilet, and everybody's like, no. And by everybody, I mean, like, who was there? Tanner for sure. Alex for sure. Was Connor there?
I don't know.
If
he was, we didn't see him.
Well, it's all right because Connor would be innocent anyway. So
yeah,
we say that knowing Connor is not innocent. Anyway, but
egg him on. Anyways,
he's innocent in our eyes.
Yeah, we still love Connor. It's okay.
He's the Project Feared Jesus.
Don't give him a complex now.
Oh no, like that's not like a complex, but you know, in comparison to the other guys, for sure. So basically, next thing we know, like apparently that wasn't enough, right? And I do want to set the scene before I say this next thing. I definitely was eating ice cream for sure. Because who doesn't want ice cream when they're watching TV? And I was enjoying it very well. And, you know, I was just taking my little notes and just watching and giggling a little bit because I thought it was a little funny about the shit thing. I mean, only so funny. I'm not saying it was that funny. I was just saying I let out a ha. Like, you know, a good ha.
Ha.
And that was it.
You're like, meh,
yep.
Meh,
that was it.
meh,
It's more like,
ha.
it's more like, how about this? It's a condescending ha. It's like, huh, whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, wow, that guy's really fucking lame. So then, next thing I know, I'm, you know, eating my ice cream cone. I'm just enjoying myself. Next thing I know is I hear, let's pull up the exact quote. Actually, you know what? Let's play what this motherfucker says. So we can really, really, really set the ambiance.
I don't know if I want to hear it again, but alright.
Take your headphones off.
Be here today if it wasn't for the farmer's dog.
It's just an ad. You just play an ad.
Here we go.
On the toilet shitting still, and you realize probably around 2 a.m. you woke up and you just fell asleep.
Never,
ever.
not once. Not even close.
Hold on.
Let me try this. So you ever shit your pants in like 9th grade?
Oh, fuck.
Maybe not ninth, but yeah.
Hurry up!
7th?
You know what? Yeah, sure.
Nice, dude. My balls smell like crap today.
The disingenuine laugh from Tanner. Like, poor Tanner. He's just like, why are you involving me in all of this?
Like, okay, just imagine me eating ice cream, hearing the sniff, watching him stick his fingers up to his nostrils.
Gross.
And say, my balls smell like crap today. I wish you could see my face because it's just utter fucking disgust. And I literally, like, you know how you eat a popsicle? Well, if you're really into eating an ice cream cone, sometimes you have that shit a little bit, you know, like, in your mouth, right? And when I tell you, I fucking gagged on that shit, not in a good way. Like, in an absolute bad way.
Not in a good way.
Not in a good way, like in the worst way possible. And I almost puked everywhere, all over my fresh, clean sheets, because Dakota said his balls smell like crap. Because I have an idea of what that means, you know, of what that probably smells like. And my visceral reaction was, and my ice cream just, you know, comes out of my mouth a little bit. It was not a pretty scene. I guess it depends on who's looking at it, but.
Why would you add that? Depends on who's looking at it.
But in this scenario, like, you heard Tanner's laugh. He didn't even think that was funny. This is the only time I'm agreeing with Tanner. I didn't think it was funny. Burgundy doesn't think it's funny.
Well, like, okay, so here's the thing, right? This fucker had multiple chances, right?
Multiple.
Okay, first of all, he said it out loud on camera, thinking it was fucking funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
He thought he was going to get
then-
some hee-hees and ha-has from the audience, for sure.
And then this bitch sat down, edited it, watched that again.
Probably hee-heed and ha-ha'd at himself.
Not from his core memory, right in front of his own damn eyeballs. Still thought it was funny, still left it in. And then posted it. Left it out there for the whole ass world to see.
And it's been over a year, pretty much a year and a half since that was posted. And he still could have removed that just from secondhand embarrassment because you know he got comments about it. And his stupid fucking smooth brain ass still didn't fucking do it. He thought he did something.
He thinks he's a comedic genius.
Yeah, he thinks he's a comedic genius. And I think that that's a problem. I think that he should he should never consider himself that, because what a comedic genus... a comedic genus. What a comedic...
A comedic genesis.
a comedic genesis.
Oh my God.
Would they fucking make someone choke? I mean, yes, but like, that's not our business, you know? Like, I mean, just like make someone like choke on their ice cream while they're enjoying it and having like a peaceful night. I just, it's extremely disappointing, and I just want to say, like, fuck you, honestly. I think that's disgusting, because it's just like, there's just, it's just the image, and it's the smell, and it's everything that I don't want, and I literally just want to deck you in the face for it. And you know what? I might even kick you in the balls for an extra little pizzazz, and if I'm really feeling frisky, I'll run you over with my car.
The escalation. So you're gonna kick him in the balls. So first of all, he's like, "My balls smelling crap," and now they're gonna be in pain. So
Yeah.
consider that, Dakota.
Stinky, painful ball.
You're gonna have two things working against you in that department. Twice. Double whammy, if you will.
Yeah, you're definitely not going to get a girl now.
That's the reason he's been single this whole
Yeah,
fucking
no
time.
girls because they're like, nah.
Oh my God! It didn't. Yo. Ruh-roh, Reggie. So, I think the universe is saying that we're bullying Dakota too much, but I don't fucking care.
Yeah. Everybody except Chelsea, except Connor, except Riley, they have had, you know, their moment on the stage. Dakota's had a little bit more, but to be completely honest with you, just as like us to our fellow listeners, there is absolutely like every reason why he deserves that, and it's because like some people are like, oh my gosh, Dakota's such a great person, like he made sure like all of his friends had a job and a career doing something they loved. Yeah, that's all great, fine and dandy, except like let's not forget everything else he's done. Like for one, he's put his sister in a basement. What the fuck? He's taken flashlights away. He's actually done that in this Pennhurst episode that we just reviewed.
Oh yeah, I was gonna bring that up too because
Yup.
that was fresh off of ISS where, you know, they had no flashlights and someone
Yup.
fucking broke in. And then they're like, we're probably never gonna not do flashlights again. And then the first time they go back out, fucker just yeets them across the yard.
Yeah, that's fucked, okay? That's shit. And then, you know, like we said, oh, like when he went to Old Hospital in College Hill, he got locked in the body cooler and everybody's like, oh, Dakota, oh, we have nothing bad to say. Oh, poor little Dakota. Fuck him. Fuck him, first of all. Because let's think about all those things. I can't think of everything off the top of my head, but he's done a lot of bad shit to them, okay?
Yeah.
And it's deserved, so.
Yeah.
Also, everything that I just said, it's a joke for those of you who can't take a joke.
He's in ha-has and LOLs, like, for real, though. Like, not like what Dak thought
Yeah.
he was doing, but, like, for actually.
Yeah, like, I'm not gonna run him over with a vehicle or anything, so if anybody hears this, I'm not gonna do that. As I'm nodding my head.
Unless-
I'm not gonna do that.
Well, see, this is the thing. If we're gonna be at Pennhurst and we're gonna be in the car, and this fucker's gonna walk in front of the car, and then it's just gonna be like, oh, didn't see you there.
It's like,
Sorry.
oops.
Whoops.
Sorry.
What just happened? I don't know. This guy came out of nowhere. Turns out it was Dakota. Whoopsie daisies.
He thinks that we like him. We actually don't. He actually said we're nice.
Joke's on you, buddy. I think he was trying to be nice so that we would be nicer to him.
Yeah, that didn't work. If you hear this, Stack, all I'm going to say is watch your back. But for those of you who can't take a joke, I would never hurt anybody, so. Well, depends.
Now you get to decide which story you want to believe.
On that note.
Pick one. Alright, so anyways, please like, comment, subscribe wherever you're listening if you're this, and also follow us on all the social medias and everything you use, and that's it. Okay, love you, bye.
Love you, bye. Give me a smooch. Love you forever and ever. Amen. Bye, babes.
Bye, babies.
Hey, Dakota, if you're listening to this, your ass is grass, and I'm gonna mow it.
Ooh, shit.